Yeah, it's always been Dane, always the same. All about the same girl and the same pain. Now I got two girls with the same name. Wait, I'm feeling myself. See, it's been a whole week and I can't even tell. Right between going to heaven or going to hell. Feel like I'm stuck in a cell. Told me.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the Fan Report.
We're so by the fans.
For the fans.
Told you getting quicker.
We got another late night show going on for you guys. Had a little bit of technical difficulty to start this one tonight, though.
Yeah, well, we got through it, though. We got through it, just like we'll get through the spring forward.
We are through it this time, and you need to kind of scooch over a little bit because you are way, way off center. Or, you know what? You're going the wrong way. So scooch this way. How's that? There we go. Ow. All right.
You're welcome.
So, as we were saying,
we are here to lead you into the spring forward, not to talk sports. Yes, we are here to talk sports.
That is a trauma for us as well, my friend. Let me tell you.
We're here to lead you into the spring forward by talking sports, to let you forget about losing that hour.
That is just about the best way to lose an hour.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. I'll lose an hour that way. I don't know about you.
Have a drink with us as well.
Yeah.
This is a beer stream.
Cheers.
It's more of a loose stream, as you can see. Not as serious. I see your teardrop. Was it that good? Did it make you tear up a little bit?
A little bit. All right. So as usual, guys, once again, I screwed that up, and topics are over there,
yes,
not over there.
Topics are
over
right
there.
Here, starting from the top
on
to
down.
the bottom.
So you can follow along with us once again. If you guys like what you see tonight, please follow us on Twitch. Get notifications when we go live and be part of the fandom.
Follow us on Twitter.
Be a part of the. Have we decided what to call our fans? The fandom?
No.
We'll figure it out.
Fandomonium.
The reporters.
The reporters. We'll figure it out.
But
we'll probably, we'll probably let them name themselves. I want to know what they think they should be named.
We'll get their input.
We'll get their down the line.
Anyways, you guys can also hit us, follow us on Twitter as well at Real Fan Report. You can follow us there. You can talk with us. We live tweet all the time, and you can chat with us and suggest any topics you guys want to hear. So, without further ado, let's hit it. So we're gonna start off tonight with some March Madness bubble teams. We don't really want to break down the whole bracket because that will take
forever,
and there's no point because we know who the top basically 15 teams in each.
Yeah,
bracket are. So,
plus we'll do a little bracketology next week, anyways.
We'll break down some bracketology.
Into it a little bit.
We'll hit up some of that once tournament actually kind of begins. Kind of begins. So, bubble teams. So basically, there's tons of bubble teams, but I've kind of narrowed it down to 6 teams that I think are the most interesting, the ones that make me go the most. And that was a little weird, but. The ones that make me wonder the most about them. Maybe you're thinking that, my friend. Yeah. But the ones that make me wonder about them the most, I gotta throw it out there. And I was looking through a bunch of these, so bear with me if you guys don't agree with any of these, but it's my opinion. So, first team, I gotta throw out there is Syracuse. They were a Final Four team last year. They've got a 17-13 record this year, which a 13-loss season's not the greatest. However, there's some 10, 11, there's some 10 seed, 11 seed teams that are 13-loss teams. Look at Michigan State. They're slated to be in that 10 seed right now. It's another team that's a 13. I think they're actually a 14-loss team now. No, they're a 13 now.
One of the big knocks on Syracuse is they've had a ton of bad
They
losses.
have had a lot of bad losses, no doubt about that. Another team that I wanted to throw out there was Seton Hall, who was 18-10. They're not really a powerhouse school, but they've had some success in the dance before. So I mean, they're not a team that really, how about my Spurs bench being the Warriors bench today? Hey, battle of the benches. What can I say? Welcome back, Obama Lizard.
Obama Lizard. I want to say I feel bad for the people that went to that game.
I do too.
Like
you people go to paid good money to watch some stars go at it, and then they watch the scrubs go at it. That sucks.
It was like a preseason game.
Yeah.
They paid top dollar for a Spurs Warriors matchup to watch a preseason game.
That's pretty. That's
not even a preseason game. At least preseason game they would get some run. They went to watch like a summer league game, basically.
But no,
I'd be
pissed if I'm just paying all that money to go watch 2 of the top teams in the an entire league go at it, and I get stuck with their bench, that would piss me off. I just realized that this is off center. Whoopsie. There we go.
Obama Lizard,
That's fixed.
some big news coming out of your team the other day that
Marcus Aldridge.
Marcus Aldridge out with a
down.
regular heartbeat. That's big
scary.
It's a big blow.
Regular heartbeat's scary.
It is. We
I
wish
feel
him all the
kinda
best.
bad. I heard
Prayers
they really
up.
dropped the ticket prices right before. Oh,
Did
I
they?
bet. I wouldn't doubt it. My God, if they didn't, I'd be pissed. And I didn't even go to the game, and I'd be pissed. But anyways, back to the bubble teams. Third team was Rhode Island, 19-9. Had a pretty solid year, but again,
Not really familiar with what they've done, but continue.
what have they really done? What are their teams that they've beaten? You know, they're not really a powerhouse school. They're not really a team that's really been well-known team in the dance. Wake Forest at 18-12. I think that's supposed to be. I put 16-12. Did they not play that many games?
Wake Forest?
Yeah.
Couldn't tell you.
I
would go with 18-12. I doubt
18,
it.
I bet
doubt
you
it's 16.
it's got to be 18-12 because Syracuse 17-13. So, although no, Seton Hall only played 28 games.
Well, just go with it.
Anyways, so I put 16-12. I don't know if that's actually accurate, but Wake Forest is a team that has had a lot of success in the dance. They've got a reputation of being a good basketball school. They had a rough year this year, but they probably, from what I can tell, they probably played a pretty decent schedule. Illinois State, probably not a very high RPI.
I think Wake Forest is like the strongest of the bubble teams.
Oh, absolutely. Of these 5 teams, Wichita State. Wichita State's one of those Cinderella teams. They've had a good year. They play some solid teams, and they've had some success in the past in the dance. They built themselves a reputation, but
I'm not even sure they're a bubble team at 27-4 though. Like,
they are. When you're a team that does not play in a power conference, and you got a conference like the Big Ten that's going to take 6, 7, maybe even 8 teams. Probably not 8, but you could see. I wouldn't be surprised with 6 or 7 going in. I mean, then teams like in Illinois State and Wichita State are the ones that miss out because they didn't win their conference or their conference tournament. So that's kind of what it's going to be. Illinois State at 25-5. I mean, that's a great season by their standards, but is that enough for them to get into the dance without being a conference tournament champion, getting that automatic bid? That's another story because their strength schedule is probably not that high. And then I rounded it out with Wichita State at 27-4. In my opinion, they are a sure thing in. I don't know if they're actually going to be in though. Of those teams, I do think. I almost can't not put Syracuse in just because of the reputation, just because of the strength of schedule. And I almost can't.
So if you'd pick 3 to make the cut, 3 to miss the cut, you'd pick Syracuse, Wake Forest, Wichita State.
Yes, I would pick those 3 to actually make it in without a doubt.
So let's do some.
We're gonna
fun
actually
then.
do something a little bit different though. My boy over here's Andrew's gonna give me 2 teams without any names, and he's gonna say Team A's. He's gonna go Team A and Team B. Team A, he's gonna give me the resume for the big dance, and then Team B, he's gonna do the same. And I'm gonna try to break it down.
It's gonna be a blind comparison.
And I'm gonna compare the 2, and I'm gonna try to say who I think is gonna go to the dance, and then he's gonna reveal the teams to me what those 2 teams are.
And these comparisons are courtesy of Bleacher Report.
Yeah, this is coming from Bleacher Report. I have not actually read this article, so this is completely blind for me.
So, our first 2 teams. Team A, record 20-12. Team B, record 27-6. And you said
One of those is not like the other.
RPI for Team A 56, RPI for Team B 34. So you got 20-12 with a 56 RPI, 27-6 with a 34.
So
RPI.
obviously already one of these 2 teams is definitely. I don't even. How is that team a bubble team at that point?
So strength of schedule, Team A 41 and Team B ranked at 121.
Oh, okay, there's where it is.
And then the non-conference strength of schedule, 182 for Team A, 145 for Team B.
So one of those 2 teams, the Team A definitely plays in a tough conference. There's no doubt about that.
No doubt about that.
He's definitely playing in a Power 5 at that point. I'm thinking probably a Big 10 or a Pac-12, as Bill Walton calls it, the championship coast or whatever it is, the championship 12, whatever he wants to fucking call it. Can I get a losses? Any bad losses?
Well, loss against sub 100 sub 100 teams. Team A 3, Team B 1, sub 200 Team A 2, Team B 0.
Those are some bad losses. So, all right, let me break this down. Obviously, one of these two teams has a much better conference, but has a much better conference schedule. But the second team had a much better year overall. I'm going to say that that team B is probably going to be my team to go in just because of the fact that they had a much better overall year.
Well, here,
both these two teams are bubble
before
teams?
you say that, RPI top 50, 6 and 8 for that team A, the 2012 team, and 0 and 1.
Oh, okay. I got to put Team A in then. If they've only played one team in the top 50 and that was a loss.
They have played 14 teams in the top 100. They went 9
I don't
and 5.
give it. I want top 50. If you're not playing more than one team in the top 50, your strength of schedule is really shit.
Yeah, well,
so I'm definitely going with Team A. I changed my pick on that. Team A is my pick. Definitely
So
to make
here's a reveal. Team A is Providence. Team B is Nevada.
Okay. I would
picking
probably pick Providence over Nevada to
Okay.
make the dance. Absolutely.
And then here's our second one.
Let's
we
only do
have
3 of these.
Yeah, they're all only 3.
All right.
So Team A is 19 and 14 with a 43 RPI. Team B is 22 and 10 with a 46 RPI.
You said 19 and 14?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cut them out right now. There is only, I think, in the history of the dance, 7 teams that have ever made the dance with a 14-loss record.
Now let me finish though. Strength of schedule 2 for 19 and 14.
Oh, dude, UCLA, they are honestly, in my opinion, a massive threat to win the national championship this year. They have so much talent on that roster, including my favorite player in college basketball, Lonzo Ball. That guy is a straight-up baller. That guy's a gamer. He knows what to do, and that man's going to lead his team to it at the bare minimum. If that team does not make the Final Four, that's a huge disappointment. UCLA, honestly, is probably, if I'm filling out a bracket right now, I would be hard-pressed not to pick them for me to not pick them as my national championship winner. So,
Wow.
A lot of love for UCLA, no doubt.
That's some love right there.
A lot of love for UCLA.
But
Then again, they did lose today. So, or was that yesterday? It was either today or yesterday. They did lose their conference tournament. So, take something away from there then. But okay, so you're saying 19 and 14 with a strength of schedule of 2.
Yes, non-conference strength of schedule 1. And then the 22 and 10 team strength of schedule is 60, non-conference 289.
What was the Team B record?
Team B was 22 and 10.
22 and 10. What was their RPI?
46 versus 43 for Team A.
Both these teams are bubble teams.
Yes.
Give me the sub 50 record.
So there's only sub 100,
Or
sub
not,
200.
give me the
Top
RPI
50?
top 50 record.
Top 50 for Team A 6 and 8. Top 50 Team B 5 and 8.
Ooh, so they've got very similar records. How is that? So they both got to play in good conferences then. If their top 50 is in good conference and Team B's non-conference record or non-conference strength of schedule is that low, you know what? I can't put a team with 14 losses in the dance. I have to go because there's literally only been less than 10 teams to ever make it into the dance with 14 losses. I gotta go Team B.
Well, Team A is Vanderbilt, which many people are saying could be the first 15 loss team to receive an at-large bid.
That's possible. I mean, it is possible. Vanderbilt is a big-time school. They definitely are a basketball school. They definitely have, a lot of talent there.
And Team B is Virginia
I mean, they
Tech.
were number 1 for a while. So, I mean, that kind of tells you a lot. So
Team B is Virginia Tech.
I think, okay. I think that the one thing that'll help a team like Vanderbilt on Selection Sunday is the fact that they were ranked number 1 for a solid majority of the year. So I think that is going to help them out a lot. Granted, that's coming from last year, but again, that's still something that's going to help the resume a little bit.
All right, here's the final one. Team A 20 and 13, Team B 26 and 6.
20 and 13 and 26 and 6, okay.
RPI for Team A 69, RPI for Team B 32. And then strength of schedule 68 in conference, non-conference 70 for Team A, Team B 122 and 148 respectively.
Ooh. So how is their RPI so much higher then? The RPI at Team B is a lot higher than Team A's.
It's
Give me their RPI
top 50. Top 50 Team B is 1 and 2. Team
Okay.
A is 2 and 10.
Ooh, that's bad.
They put a lot of them though. That's the thing.
Yeah, they're probably in a good conference.
However,
at that point.
the losses sub 100 0 for Team A, sub 200 0 for Team A, and then 2-1
So
respectively.
never had any bad losses. You know what? Just because I feel I know who that Team A is, I'm going to pick Team A to make it because I think they deserve it. I'm going Team A just because they have the better
Who do you think
schedule.
Team A is?
I have a feeling it's Michigan State. I don't think they're really a bubble team. I think that team is a 10 seed they deserve to be in. They've got enough good wins that I think they deserve to be in. But that team sounds like a Michigan State type team. They have no real bad losses, although Michigan State did have a bad loss.
Team A is Ole Miss.
Ole Miss, okay.
And they beat the aforementioned Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
And Team B is Illinois State, which you talked about here.
Okay, well, I didn't even pick them to go anyway. So Team A is that was my pick. So
But yeah.
that kind of breaks it down. Selection Sunday is a whole ordeal in itself. The committee that picks these teams, it's entirely up to them. Obviously, we have no say, but there's a lot of teams that are going to make it and not deserve it, and a lot of teams are going to not make it and totally deserve it. So, and the seeding's all whack anyways. And the one team I do think has a big chance of actually making something happen based off of their run of play in the last few weeks is Michigan. I mean, I'm not a big Michigan fan. I
live and die by that 3-ball, though.
Totally. Not necessarily, because a guy like Mo Wagner is able to play in the post. He's an inside-out big man.
Yeah, but if your outside shots aren't falling, you're not going to have room to operate in the post.
Well, then you could argue that with every single basketball team in the entire world.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's just how every single team plays now. Yeah. If the big outside shot's not falling, then you look at the mid-range. You take a step inside a little bit. But you allow your good players to play. Derek Walton, I think his name is, Derek Walton Jr. has been amazing lately. I mean, today against Minnesota, I believe he put up like 23 points and 7 assists with 4 rebounds. He had a great game. And Mo Wagner's a real good player too. So, I mean, that team, they've been playing as good as just about anyone in the top seeds of the dance right now. Yeah. So, they're a definite team that's a huge threat, no doubt. But they're big. I think the biggest bonus for them is because they're because they've been able to get to the finals of their conference tournament. I think it's given them enough on their resume to pull themselves out of the 8-9 spot in their bracket. It pushes them at the bare minimum to a 7 slot. Which, with that said, that means they will no longer be playing. If you're in an 8-9 slot, if you win your first game, you are automatically playing the number 1 seed in the second game. The fact that they're able to jump that slot puts them in a much better situation to at least make it to the Sweet 16. So that definitely helps them out a lot. That's probably one of the biggest things that they were able to do for the resume this weekend. So, but that kind of breaks down March Madness a little bit. We'll break the actual bracketology down more next week. I just want to throw out a few bubble teams tonight just to kind of put it out there. We had someone asking us a couple weeks ago, or not last show, but the show before that. Yeah. Whether or not we thought Michigan State deserved to be in the conference title, and at that time, not the conference title, the tournament. And at that point, I was a yes, and I'm still a yes. Absolutely, I'm still there at minimum.
I'm a bit of a weaker yes than I was before.
I'm not, because in my opinion, their loss to Maryland did not hurt them. Once they beat Wisconsin, that was the win they needed. They needed to. There were 3 real tough games they had at the end of the year, which were Wisconsin, Purdue, and Maryland. Once they beat one of those 3 teams, that was enough, in my opinion, to put them in. Yeah. And they did it. They beat Maryland. Or not Maryland. They beat Wisconsin. Yes, they lost to Purdue and Maryland pretty badly. But, again, the Wisconsin win was enough for me to put them in. And then they went and lost to a team that they really shouldn't have, and which hurt them a little bit. So then it was questionable for me, but I still thought they deserved to be in. And then they went and won their first game against Penn State, a team they've lost to earlier in the year. They beat Penn State in their opening round, which they had the first round bye, but in their opening round of the Big Ten tournament, that locked them in my opinion, to be in the conference in the dance. So definitely, to answer the question that I got, a couple weeks ago, Michigan State deserves to be in, hands down, and they will be. They're, I believe, according to bracketology,
they're not even a bubble team.
They're not even a bubble team. They're just in. Yeah. They're just in. So. We'll move on with that. We're gonna break into the NFL free agency days 2 and 3.
A little more fun.
A little more fun. We talked about the NFL free agency on Thursday night. Wow, that's been throwing me off the whole time. We normally do Wednesdays.
Yeah.
Thursday's been throwing me off, but Thursday night. So, break down a little bit more that happened. We saw the big one, in my opinion, was the Logan Ryan signing to the Titans. That was a big one because I really eyed him for the Lions because he was a guy that I thought would really help. But Logan Ryan's a great corner, really underrated just because he played up against, alongside Malcolm Butler, who was shined.
Yeah.
But Logan Ryan's a big signing. And then you had the massive trade by the Patriots. The massive trade. Trading their first round
free
pick,
agency, but it's big news.
At 32, your first round pick's borderline a second round pick.
It is a second round.
It is a second round pick. It's the first pick of the second round at 32. So getting rid of that pick that they're probably not going to even want or need anyways in a third round pick, and you pick up a guy like Brandon Cooks, who is a serious threat as a receiver, who's a guy that I would honestly compare to a younger, not as quite good Randy Moss. He's exactly what Randy Moss was for the Patriots. He's a speedy downfield threat. That's what he's going to be. And then they also brought in a fourth round pick also along in that trade, so I don't know what the hell the Saints were thinking with that. But because the Saints, in my opinion, I mean, they
traded the first and third, but
but still, they gained a fourth and a guy who really is at bare minimum
what happened?
of pick number 32nd.
What happened? The Patriots
pick.
strong-armed them. Then you have to give up Malcolm Butler like they initially wanted.
I didn't think that was ever going to happen. Malcolm Butler, I didn't think. No, I'm sorry. If you
Brandon Cooks is good enough to command Malcolm Butler.
No. I don't think he is. I'm sorry. I really don't.
You just compared him to Randy Moss, and I don't think he's good enough to command Malcolm Butler.
Randy Moss, but I'm not as good as Randy Moss. I'm not giving up a smart defensive talent like Malcolm Butler for a flashy, sexy receiver. The Cowboys lost J.J. Wilcox, and they also lost Doug Free today.
True.
Doug Free decided to retire today. That's another knock on their offensive line. That's another guy that they're losing off the O-line that is going to hurt them. I am very confident that team is going to take at least a minor step back.
I doubt they're gonna go without addressing it though. They're gonna address the O-line.
Okay, but they had a set, solid rotation. They had a set, solid core group of guys, and now they've lost two of those guys that were very important. Doug Free, I believe, was one of the captains on that line. He was huge for them, and he's gone. And now to not have I believe it was their right tackle and now their right guard. He might have been their left guard, but I think it was their right guard. But now to not have that, if he is their right guard, to lose the entire right side of your offensive line, where the fuck's Ezekiel Elliott going to run if they don't hit extremely well in the draft? I mean, you've already lost the best names in free agency when it comes to those positions outside of TJ Lang, which don't know if he's even looked at the Cowboys yet. But you've already lost Brian Wagner and Riley Reif, the top two guys at right tackle. So you can't fill that hole in free agency. You have to do it through the draft. They may not even be in a position where drafting an offensive lineman's a good pick. They might be reaching for an offensive lineman at that point.
But it's not,
because later on in the first round, the O-line is not very good.
But it's not like they don't have depth at the tackle position.
They don't, though.
They do.
They have a little bit, but it's not great depth. They're not going to be as good. Yeah, but he also was a very solid guard for Dallas. I mean, you can't say anything bad about any of that line. Yes, there was a lot of holding.
It's kind of like Dominic Raiola for the...
He was so much better than Dominic Raiola.
No, I know. I'm saying he gave us a lot of holding penalties.
Yes, but Doug Free was a very, very solid at worst. I mean, he was a good offensive lineman, very good guard, and a guy that really powered that inside running game for Ezekiel Elliott. I mean, for that offense. If they weren't for him and the right tackle that they lost, they powered. They were the leading guys for that inside running game for Ezekiel Elliott, who loves to run between the tackles. So losing guys like that really hurts for them. But in where they're picking in the draft, from what I understand, I don't think there's a good player available as a first round pick on the offensive line, at least on the right side, because everybody I've seen in that position is a second round pick. Are they really going to reach that much for that? Yeah. I don't think so, because the Cowboys are smarter than that. So what are they going to fill it with is my question. And if they don't fill it, and if they don't hit on a guy like that, then they're kind of in trouble, because they're going to see a lot of pressure coming off that side, and that's going to be a nightmare scenario for them, because a guy like Dak Prescott, who's still considered an inexperienced quarterback...
Yeah, he's only going to his second year. He's still
inexperienced. Exactly. Hasn't really seen that kind of pressure come at him just yet when it comes to the NFL standards. He hasn't seen that because he had such a solid offensive line. So if you look at Cam Newton. He struggled massively when he was hit with a lot of pressure, which... No, they absolutely have no more money. They put all their money into the roster they have now. That's why they lost so much in free agency this year. It is so tough in the NFL to keep a team together because once you have a good year, you're not going to be able to keep the guys that are
everyone becomes a hot commodity.
Exactly, because they played well. So now guys on contract years are going to go somewhere else. So it is so hard to keep a good team together in the NFL.
You know what's another major sign that's bad for our Lions? Martellus Bennett going to the Packers.
Seriously.
Rodgers needs more weapons.
I still think the Lions are going to be a better team than the Packers this year. I think the Packers lost
better team. Wow.
Yes. I think the Packers lost a lot on the offensive line. I think they lost a perennial Pro Bowler.
Martellus Bennett can block, though.
Yeah,
he's
but
a
that's
good
not
blocking
okay.
tight
I
end.
understand, but that's not an inside lineman. He's an outside tight end who's most of the time going to be in a passing situation. He's going to run routes. He's not going to sit on the line and block.
Yeah, he doesn't have Rob Gronkowski running routes where he was mostly blocking in New England.
He's going to be running routes more than he's inside blocking. And that is where the Packers are going to get hit the most because Rodgers is another year older. He's got another year of wear and tear, and he's had some injury issues over the last couple of years. Yes, he's tough as nails.
However, I'd say he's the best tight end. I mean, that Rodgers played with.
I would probably agree with you.
I can't think
He
of a better
probably
tight
is.
end.
But does Rodgers really love tight ends all that much?
We don't know.
We
haven't seen him with a really good tight end.
I don't think he does. I think he loves his wideouts the most. I think because he's been able to play with guys like Jordy Nelson. He loves those guys. He loves his out wide guys because that's the kind of game he plays. He has his guys spread. He spreads the defense out, and he's able. And if he doesn't find an open man, he's able to take off running. When you got a tight end running a route over the middle of the field, you don't have as much leeway to scramble to the outside then because you've got a linebacker in the middle of the field kind of spying you as well as playing, in a zone on the tight end. So that doesn't give him the leeway that he likes to have. So I don't think the Packers are going to be as good as the Lions this year. I think the Packers, while they're moving backwards, the Lions are moving forwards. And if things continue to go the way they are in NFL free agency, which the Lions made another signing of a tight end, not a massive signing, but it's a guy for depth.
Blocking guy.
Yeah, he's another blocking guy. But
sticking in the NFC North, the Bears picked up a decently cheap option wide receiver at $4 million, Kendall Wright, for 1 year.
They did, and actually, I like Kendall Wright.
Yeah,
I think he's actually a
that's
solid
a pretty
receiver.
good signing for $4
It's
million.
not Alshon Jeffrey, but that's a cheap
You're not going to just grab an Alshon
No,
Jeffrey.
and I think the Bears are accepting the fact that they are in a rebuild, and they're going to have to go through a full rebuild. They've gotten rid of Jay Cutler. They've gotten rid of Alshon Jeffrey. They don't have Matt Forte anymore. They're now trying to get younger and build once again. They don't have the talent they once had, and they're accepting that and going to continue with that. So they're going to build through the draft, in my opinion.
So let me ask you this: with the trade the Patriots made, are they the you say they're favorites to repeat?
The favorites, yes. I don't think it'll happen because it is next to impossible to repeat in the NFL. It just does not happen. The Bears should focus on QB, not receivers. You're right, however.
Except they think they have the answer in Mike Glennon.
I'm sorry. Nobody but Mike Glennon and Dan Orlovsky thinks he's the answer.
The Bears GM was ecstatic
He
about
has
this.
to be. He has to be. It's his job. You guys ever spit on the TP to make a
Oh, good Lord.
Okay, whatever.
And no, to answer your question.
No, but no. The Bears, nobody actually thinks Mike Glennon is the answer. Nobody. To say that he is the answer is a joke. The only people who think he's an actual true starting quarterback in the NFL are Mike Glennon and Dan Orlovsky. That's it. And
we throw Dan Orlovsky in there.
do you want to know why?
Why?
You didn't read his tweet? You haven't heard about his tweet?
No.
Oh my God. Dan Orlovsky, not like last week, tweeted about, I've sat in film rooms with the guy. I've been on practice fields with the guy. I've seen him work out. I've seen him do all this. He is hands down a starting quarterback in the NFL. He tweeted that out. And I think it was Jim Rome was ripping on him because, if this is coming from anyone else but Dan Orlovsky, it'd be true. Which is hilarious because as a Lions fan, we know all about Dan Orlovsky running out the back of the end zone. So, but no. The Bears absolutely should be focusing on a quarterback, not receivers. However,
they should be focused. There's a lot of things they need to focus on.
However, there's no way you can get a quarterback in free agency, and there's no way you can get a quarterback in in a trade without depleting your team entirely for the future.
Yeah.
The only way to get a quarterback nowadays and to be a franchise quarterback is through the draft. So they have to get one of these top.
But is there
QBs.
really a franchise?
There's
quarterback?
actually a few guys that I could think would be up there, and one of the guys, coincidentally, is slated at the exact
sold
spot.
on Mitch Trubisky.
He's slated. Were you sold on a guy like Carson Wentz? Were you sold on a guy like Dak
More
Prescott?
so than Jared Goff. I thought they made a mistake taking Jared Goff over Wentz.
I agree with you. But again, there is a quarterback that is slated to go in that spot where they are, which we'll get into some mock drafts in a minute for the top 5 picks. That is a quarterback, and he is a guy who is regarded as the top quarterback in the draft. And that's who I think they're going to take. That could be their guy. And that's where they're going to have to rebuild. That's where they're going to have to focus on their quarterback is through the draft. If they don't hit on this guy, they got to do it again next year. That's how they're going to rebuild their roster. And that's the only way they're going to get back to their winning ways that they've all had all throughout history. So, but free agency days 2 and 3 really weren't all that exciting in my opinion. Day 1 really blew me away.
Day 1 could, it's always how it is.
I know, but day 1 really blew me away. But days 2 and 3, there was a few things. I mean, the Pats had that massive trade, and the Cowboys lost another man on the offensive line. You had the big Packer signing, but outside of that, there really wasn't too much going on in free agency. Again, Logan Ryan being signed, which actually happened literally at the end of our show on Thursday. So that was still considered day 1.
Yeah.
But for the most part, things are going to wind down with free agency. There's still a few big names left. I mean, TJ Lang's name is still out there. He's still a guy that is a Pro Bowl type guard that is a solid player to have for any team. I mean, he's an upgrade for just about 31 of 32 teams out there. So, I mean, he'd be a guy that the Cowboys would love to have if they could afford him, which does not seem like it's going to happen because they've, again, given up all their cap to elsewhere. So, but outside of that, I mean, do you have anything to add for the free agency?
Other than the fact that that the Saints shored up their hole of Malcolm Butler by signing none other than Blanken.
Cricket. All right, well, he looks that up. Looks that up. Anyway, so, no, the Saints, in my opinion, Brandon Cooks, Drew Brees is not getting any younger. So that offense is not going to be as electric as it was. And it may be still...
Ted Ginn, you're
right. But the receiver? Ted Ginn, you mean?
Yeah, that guy.
Ted Ginn? Ted Ginn Jr.? He's actually a solid receiver. He's pretty underrated.
Yeah, he's not Brandon Cooks.
Well, no. But, I mean, he is kind of the same type of receiver as Brandon Cooks. He's just not as good. Yeah. But... again, that goes to my point of that offense is not getting any younger. Drew Brees is going to retire after this year or next year. So, with that being said, they're going to be another team that's going to have to look for their future quarterback. So, what's the point of having a guy like a Brandon Cooks on your roster when you don't have a guy to throw him the ball in the future? So, trade him away for assets that you can get now. Because
Drew Brees is good for at least another 3 years.
I don't think so. I really don't. He's 36 years old. He's old, 37. He's old.
Is he 37?
He's old, man. I'm telling you.
I thought he was 35.
Maybe he is, but he's not a young quarterback, and he's taken a lot of... He is 38.
38. Well, we're both...
I'm telling you.
Maybe he's not
he
good
is
for
an
3
old
years.
quarterback. For the past few years, the Saints are the definition of an okay team. Absolutely.
The definition.
They have an explosive offense.
They're the Memphis Grizzlies of the NFL.
Well, the Memphis Grizzlies play a little bit better defense.
The Memphis Grizzlies are an eternal above-average team.
But the Saints, Brees is old, and he's going to retire either after this year or next year. And with that being said, a guy like Brandon Cooks, when you don't have a guy to throw him the ball deep downfield, is not going to work. So get rid of him while you can, while teams want him, because you don't know what Brees is going to do next year. At this age in the NFL, you don't know what the guy's going to do, unless his name is Tom Brady. And even then, you worry a little bit. I mean, look at Peyton Manning. The guy in his last season was not good at all by any standards. But so you don't know what Brees is going to do. So when you have a guy like Brandon Cooks, get the assets that you can. They got a first-round pick. Yes, it's 32nd pick, but it's still a first-round pick. That gives them 2 first-round picks. They also got a third for him. So that gives them some assets in the form of future talent that could be on their roster. So in my opinion, good trade for the Saints. Better trade for the Patriots because it gives Brady another threat. Granted, it's not a Brady type threat.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how it works out for him, but definitely, in my opinion, good trade for the Saints because it allows them to fortify their roster for the future because they are not a young team on that offense when it comes to quarterback. So
let's move on to our mock drafts, though.
Move on to mock draft. All right. So mock drafts. We're gonna do weekly. Well, each week. Each week we're gonna do a mock draft of. We're gonna break down 5 picks at a time, just so we don't take up too much time. So tonight we're gonna pick our top 5 picks in the draft. So picking number 1 overall, we got the Browns. The Browns are on the clock right now. If I'm the Browns
I think
GM,
we both have the same guy.
I think the entire world has the same guy. There's no doubt in my mind. If they don't, only the Browns would fuck this pick up and pick someone else. But in my mind, that guy is Myles Garrett, defensive end from Texas A&M. He is an absolute monster. That guy seriously is a gamer. He is a player. He's seriously the type of guy what Jadeveon Clowney was supposed to be. I mean, he is a serious power threat.
And they were reportedly blown away by his workout, too.
Myles Garrett? Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I mean, why wouldn't you be? The guy's a beast. The guy's a monster. So, definitely, no question, Myles Garrett's the number 1 overall pick. Second pick, you got the Niners. This one actually had a little bit of intrigue to it because there was a few different routes they could go.
Oh, I know where I go with this.
I think I do too, and that's just because of what they've lost over the past couple of years. 2 players retiring, players leaving, players being suspended, and then dropping, and then cutting them. And that's going D-line. I have 2 names that I'd actually like to throw out there, and that is Solomon Thomas at defensive end from Stanford, and Jonathan Allen, defensive tackle from Alabama.
But which one do they go with?
I'm going to go with Solomon Thomas. I think that is the guy.
Agree.
I think that's the guy that they go with just because he is a threat coming off the end.
They're in desperate need of an edge rusher.
Absolutely. They're in desperate need of an edge pass rusher, and that's the guy that I mean, he's a definite true threat in the pass rush, and that's the guy that would fill that need without a doubt. So
I think 3 is where it starts to get interesting, though.
3 is definitely where it gets interesting, and where I think you and I might even disagree, just because I'm
pretty sure we disagree.
Yes. 3 is a slot for the 3 is where the Bears pick, and I mentioned this earlier on what they need, and that is a quarterback, and that is why I think they will pick Mitch Trubisky, the quarterback from the University of North Carolina. However, Jonathan Allen is a guy that is also a position of need for them. You could always, and I say defensive line is a position of need for every team in the NFL. I don't care if you're the New York Giants with 4 Pro Bowlers. Defensive line is a position of need no matter what because you are constantly rotating these guys out. Depth is so important there. So you could always go defensive line no matter who you are. And I think the Bears are definitely a team that could use that type of depth on the D-line. So Jonathan Allen, if he's still on the board here...
Would you go depth over pressing need?
Absolutely not. I would without a doubt, which I think defensive tackle is kind of a pressing need for them. But without a doubt, I'm going... Mitch Trubisky of the quarterback.
I think secondary is a more pressing need for the Bears. They had one of the worst.
So you would go Marshawn Lattimore?
No.
Are you going safety then?
I'm going safety because I think they think Jamal
really
Adams.
Going to say Mike Glennon answers their questions at quarterback more than their safety?
I just don't think they're going to throw $50 million at a quarterback and then turn around and draft another one. I don't think they're going to pay. I don't think they're going to pay $50 million for a backup quarterback. Is what I'm saying.
Let me ask you this. I do because $15 million for a quarterback is cheap. In 50, the NFL. I said. 15 a year.
Yeah, so $50 million.
Yeah, that's okay. How much of that is actually guaranteed money?
Probably half of it.
Probably
it's
25.
Usually how it is.
So probably 2 years worth of it. You can get rid of them after 1, so you're fine. Same situation with the Brock Osweiler contract. People thought it was that horrible. Yes, the $92 million was horrible, but 32 of it was guaranteed, and they also got rid of half that. So, so you're probably going Malik Hooker then.
I'm going Jamal Adams.
Okay, you're going even further down the draft board. You're talking about
That's
a guy...
your draft board.
That's actually the draft board of all 7 of the experts.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The CBS experts all have Jamal Adams as the 7th best player coming into the draft. That's
Jamal
a reach
Adams.
That's a reach of the 3 spot.
I think that is a reach.
You're talking about every single expert that I've looked up in the last hour has put him at 7.
I think we did a little bit of different research, but I go Jamal Adams at number 3.
I don't. I absolutely... Okay, let me ask you this.
I think he's the best secondary player on the
How
board.
about this argument then? You're saying that safety is a more pressing need than quarterback, right? Okay. How many safeties safeties win you a Super Bowl?
I'm saying safety is more pressing than quarterback because he already threw $50 million at a quarterback.
15.
50.
No, they have not. They're okay. That's not how NFL contracts work.
I'm just
they
saying,
have not guaranteed
they already
all
threw
50
money at a
of that.
quarterback.
They have not guaranteed all of that money to Mike Glennon. They do not have to pay that $50 million dollars.
They
to
threw
Mike Glennon.
$25 million on Mike
Let's
Glennon.
find out how much guaranteed money Mike Glennon contract details. I'm sorry, but his contract is not. All 50 is not guaranteed. That's Mike Glennon, 18 and a half.
Yeah.
And 18 and a half. That is cheap for a quarterback. 45 total, 18 and a half.
So you're
is
assuming
guaranteed.
it's none of his incentives?
Guaranteed money.
Yeah, so I'm saying you're assuming it's none of his incentives then?
What do you mean?
Because that's how you get your bonus money. It's incentive based.
Sorry, but I don't think Mike Glennon is going to hit any of his incentives. I don't. So, I absolutely think that the Bears will draft a quarterback. And the reason is because Mike Glennon, they know, is not the answer. He is a filler for them. A safety does not win you a Super Bowl. A safety does not take you to the playoffs.
You don't try to win a Super Bowl with one pick.
A safety does not take you to the playoffs. You do not start your franchise and start a rebuild around a safety. You start it around a quarterback in the NFL. That is the only way you will successfully rebuild a team, is by first getting a franchise quarterback and then building from the trenches out. A safety.
Well, that's if you think
Getting
Mitch
a guy-
Trubisky's a franchise quarterback.
That's what some people are saying. A lot of the experts are saying Mitch Trubisky is a future franchise quarterback. But how will you ever know unless you draft him? What are you going to do if you pass up on him, so you wait another year to get your quarterback, and Mitch Trubisky is a future franchise
But
quarterback?
they're not in a position to take a risk at franchise at quarterback.
Absolutely they are.
They are not.
What do they have to lose? They're already one of the worst franchises in the league.
Exactly. You should
So
start.
what do they have to lose? Getting them a safety gets them no better at all.
Another step.
To what? To absolute.
You're not going to answer all your questions
let me ask
in
you
one
this.
pick.
Does that safety give them more than one win on the year?
You're not going to answer all your needs in one pick.
One quarterback gives you, at bare minimum, competition for an NFC North contention. With their roster, it gives them bare minimum competition for at
So you
least
think if they
a
drafted
wild
Mitch
card.
Trubisky, he's going to play right away?
And yes. Maybe not unless he proves to be something in the in training camp. If he actually is as good as a guy like Dak Prescott or Carson Wentz is and beats out Mike Glennon, which probably not that hard to do. Yes, I absolutely do think Mitch Trubisky, if he does pan out, is going to be their
I'm gonna say
week
if they
one
plan
starter.
on drafting Mitch Trubisky, I don't think they would have gone out and signed a quarterback. That's all I'm saying.
I do. Absolutely, I do. So many teams have done that. Are you kidding me? That happens almost every year. A team signs a guy for a year or two and then drafts a guy.
It
Absolutely.
wasn't a year or two. That's like a 4-year deal.
Okay, but again, 18 and a half is guaranteed.
Moving
you
on.
can cut him without any repercussions.
You don't
after
sign
a
a
year.
guy planning on cutting him. That's just not how you operate.
That is how the NFL operates. You kidding
You
me?
don't sign a guy with
There
plans
are
to
so
cut him.
many players that come out and say that your contract is never what the actual terms are.
Well, yeah.
That your contract is for your guaranteed years only.
Yeah, agreed. But I'm saying you don't sign a guy with intent to cut.
Yes, you do. The only
That makes
reason
no sense.
you have intent to fill his position because you know he's not the answer. Everyone in the world knows Mike Glennon is not the answer. By signing him for 4 years, you're
I
saying
agree.
by signing and keeping him for 4 years, you're saying he's the answer.
I agree he's not the answer. But I'm not speaking for the
The
Bears
only
or what they
reason
think.
he signs the contract is because you're offering him 4 years.
Anyway, we can move on. I'm
sorry, you cannot.
I'm taking Jamal
build-
Adams
You
there.
cannot start a rebuild by drafting a safety. You start your rebuild by drafting a quarterback. That is how you do it. A safety gets you nowhere. Absolutely fucking nowhere.
Well, let's move on because I'm still going with Jamal Adams.
You're an idiot. I will not let you run. That's why you suck at fantasy.
Keep moving.
Anyway, so number 4 pick, the Jags, which in my opinion, huge letdown season because that team I thought was a serious threat. Serious threat this past year to actually do something. Blake Bortles had a terrible year. Do they still trust the guy?
Yes.
Okay. Do they get insurance behind him? If you're not going Mitch Trubisky in that third spot, that means he's still on your draft board.
He is still on my draft board.
Okay. Are you not putting
I
him
think
in
they
the
have more
top 5?
pressing needs.
Are you not? I do too. I absolutely do too. Do
think-
not put Mitch Trubisky in the top 5 because you would actually be disagreeing with every single analyst out there at that point.
I would not be, and no, he's not in my top 5.
What? One analyst from
Most of them.
Benchreport.com?
Most of them. But
no, not most of them at all.
I go D-line, Jonathan Allen.
Okay, show me at least 3 mock drafts that don't put Mitch Trubisky in the top 5.
I will after the show, but I'm saying I'm going D-line, Jonathan Allen.
That's what I have too.
Absolutely,
they need a D-line.
They need a bolster interior line there.
Jaguars have really good potential for a good season. Absolutely. If Blake, it all centers around their quarterback. Go figure. If they have Blake Bortles play well as he was advertised coming into this season, he is a guy who is that team. He makes that team good. If your quarterback is good, your team is good. So, definitely. Drew Brees is the entire reason the Saints were any good. Mm-hmm. All the reason whatsoever. I mean, if the Packers didn't have Aaron Rodgers, that team would be garbage. So, yeah. Again, a quarterback is how you build a franchise. So Blake Bortles is the guy. If he has a good year, that team makes the playoffs, in my opinion. So, but I have the Jags taking Jonathan Allen at defensive tackle. That is a position that is a definite pressing need for them. They need some interior linemen to clog up that hole and open things up for their edge rushers, no doubt. Mm-hmm. So, that takes us to our 5th and final pick, to the Titans, which this is a team I could go several ways with.
I have 2 ways, but...
Okay. I'll widen the gap. 2 ways. Secondary, running back. That's my 2 ways that this team could go. They definitely need a secondary player. You could throw out a guy like Marshall Lattimore.
Okay. I don't see why you go running back, but continue.
Well, who do they have a running back?
They got DeMarco Murray and Derrick Henry.
Oh, shit, you're right. Never mind. I was thinking of a different team. Never mind. Definitely don't go running back. I mean, you still could go running back with that roster because DeMarco Murray, you never really know what his...
You got Derrick Henry.
Yes, but how many teams run a one-back system?
Well, so. I think they have more pressing needs and going for a luxury pick.
But I would probably go secondary here. I'd probably have to throw it up between one of 3 guys: Malik Hooker, Jamal Adams, and Marshall Lattimore. Mm-hmm. All 3 guys are serious gamers in the secondary. I'd probably go with Marshall Lattimore here just because he is higher on my draft board. Cornerback is, again, a depth position, a position that you could always build in, even if it's a guy who's not going to be your starter right away, which I think a guy like Marshall Lattimore would be. Yeah. Definitely a position that you could always build from. So, definitely, I'm going with Marshall Lattimore.
So, when I put this mock draft together, I initially had him slated to take Marshall Lattimore as well. As until he signed Logan Ryan. The reason I had him going secondary is because
I didn't think about Logan Ryan.
That division, they got to go up against Allen Robinson twice a year. They got to go up against T.Y. Hilton twice a year. And they have to go up against DeAndre Hopkins twice a year.
That actually changed. I forgot they did.
So they would. You can't go wrong taking Marshall Lattimore because
you're right.
But I think after losing Kendall Wright, they really do need a receiver.
So you go Corey Davis. He's the top receiver in the
Corey
draft.
Davis or Mike Williams.
Well, Corey Davis is the top receiver in the draft.
There's a debate between Corey Davis and Mike Williams. People are debating which one's top receiver.
I don't know who the fuck's debating that because that's an easy debate to lose.
Because people, and I personally think Corey Davis is the top receiver in this
Absolutely.
draft. But people knock Corey Davis because of the small school. So,
but the guy played against some good teams and was
successful.
Successful.
I agree. I think Corey Davis is the top receiver in this draft.
So what the fuck is the debate?
It's my opinion. There's a debate. I'm only
What's
one
the
side.
Debate? This debate I haven't heard. I haven't heard this damn debate. I'm sorry, but what debate are you looking at besides? Where are you getting your facts from? Where do you get your fantasy facts from? Because your facts are shit.
I honestly think they go Mike Williams here.
Get the fuck out of here. No. If they're going receiver, they're going Corey Davis. That is the best receiver in the draft. That is the guy who actually is a real playmaker. Not saying Mike Williams is not, but Corey Davis is seriously...
They're both great receivers.
Corey Davis could be the next Kelvin. Could be the next Kelvin Johnson. I don't think Mike Williams is that good. Corey Davis seriously could be that good. I think Mike Williams will be a good receiver. God, I hate the name Mike Williams. I have so many bad memories of Mike Williams being drafted. But Mike Williams is a guy who's going to be a good receiver. I don't think he's going to even... I don't think he's going to match up with a guy like Corey Davis. Corey Davis is an unbelievable talent. He's got the size. He's got great speed. He's got great hands. He's got great ability.
I agree.
All over the field. I don't think Mike Williams has those same intangibles.
Yeah, and I agree. If I were the Titans, I go Corey Davis. I'm telling you that right now. But all I'm saying is I'm trying to look at it from their point of view, and not from I'm biased because I live in Michigan point of view.
But you're not a fan of Western. That doesn't make you biased.
Why you have more? I naturally have more exposure to Corey Davis than someone from Tennessee would. You see what I'm saying?
I guess. But again, Corey Davis. But okay, you're saying that on a sense that you don't think these guys are following guys like Corey Davis.
I
as much
agree
as
they're
we are.
following guys like Corey Davis.
They're following him more than we are.
But historically in the draft, they put more weight on guys from coming from a team like Clemson than coming from a team like Western Michigan. You know what I'm saying?
Not if the guy's a better talent.
They're comparable.
That's like saying that a guy like the fucking guy, the left tackle from Central, wasn't a better talent than tackles that came from other schools.
He's been pretty bad though.
Not throughout history.
Eric Fisher? Is that what you're talking about?
No, I'm thinking of someone else.
The guy won number 1 overall?
Regardless, that might be what I'm thinking of. But even then, that's not saying that the guy wasn't a better talent coming out of school. It just means he hasn't put in the work to actually translate his game.
I just think it scares some teams, so I'm just taking that as a factor.
I don't at all, because I see. Why the fuck is a quarterback from UNC up there?
That again,
Why the fuck was a quarterback from North Dakota State or South Dakota up there? Why the fuck is a quarterback from South Dakota even an NFL starting quarterback, let alone a good one? So to say that they get scared by small schools is not true, because they're not. They scout these guys through more than just what school they went to in the conference they played in.
Of course they do.
Much more than that.
But they factor it in.
A big factor in a receiver is his intangibles. Look at a guy like Calvin Johnson. His intangibles are better than anyone else's probably in the history of the game. Corey Davis is another one of those guys. He has incredible size for a receiver. He has incredible speed. He has incredible hands. He has incredible jumping ability. Those are intangibles that I think that are much better than Mike Williams' intangibles. He is a guy that is my opinion, a sure thing as long as he keeps his head in line. As long as he puts in the work and keeps his head on straight and stays out of trouble, he is a sure thing. I don't know the same about Mike Williams.
It's not like I'm dropping Corey Davis a second round. If Mike Williams goes 1, Corey Davis goes 2. They're interchangeable.
Well, I think you're an idiot for taking Mike Williams first.
I would personally take Corey Davis first. I'm telling you that right now.
Well, I think you're an idiot thinking the Titans would do that.
In the spirit of a mock draft, I'm just trying to get in the Titans' head. That's all.
Anyways, I will actually change my pick away from, because I forgot about the Logan Ryan signing. I don't think they go cornerback. I think they go either Malik Hooker at safety or they go Corey Davis. I don't even think Mike Williams is in their conversation. He's probably on their board, but if Corey Davis is available at that slot at number 5, I think the Titans run up to it and take him. So
I think he will be available.
I do too. I mean, he's probably not even a guy that's selected to go until 9 or 10. So if that is a pressing need, which at receiver, which even with Kendall Wright, it's still a position they could have needed to fill. So definitely Corey Davis is a good pick for them.
Yeah, so that's our 1 through 5.
That's our 1 through 5. We had a little bit of argument on the Bears pick. Fucking safety to rebuild. Get out of here. Quarterback. That's how you build a franchise. How you build a franchise. So we'll move on from that. Again, going into our segment that we do weekly, our buy or sell. If you guys want to throw in any topics for the buy or sell, please do. We would love your input. So buy or sell this week. We break down 5 topics, and we're going to decide whether or not we buy them or we sell on it. So I'll start it off.
Okay.
Because I know your answer to this first one. And I'm going the New York Giants receiving core. Are you buying or selling? That's Brandon Marshall, Shepard, and OBJ. Buy or sell?
I'm definitely buying that receiving core. Are you kidding me?
Okay.
I am absolutely. So, egos aside, that is the most talented receiving core in the NFL.
No, it's not.
I think it's the most talented receiving core in the NFL. You got
a 35-year-old receiver on one side.
You got Sterling Shepard in the slot. That is the most talented.
35-year-old receiver on one side? I don't think so.
That is the you're
I'm
taking
sorry,
age into account a little too much.
Okay, but age. Okay, how many receivers at past the age of 32 are any good? No. Pass. If you're on the wrong side of 30 in the NFL at the positions of running back and receiver, your statistics in the NFL drastically reduce, and that is a true fact. Drastically reduce. The fact that Brandon Marshall's one of those guys who's. he is the anomaly. The anomaly. You're naming one name. He is the anomaly in that situation.
And other than having Geno Smith and Ryan Fitzpatrick as his quarterback, Brandon Marshall hasn't really shown any drastic signs of taking a step back.
Yes, he has. The injury issues he's had the last couple of years.
He's always had injury issues.
Okay, but they've been worse. He's missed most of his games now. The fact that his body has turned on him, plus he's on the other side of 30, no way is he a guy that I can consider to be a massive threat. I don't even consider him to be a top 15
and
receiver
plus,
anymore.
Even if he gets hurt, you have Sterling Shepard stepping into the wide receiver 2 spot, and they already had a really good receiving core without Brandon Marshall.
And you know what? I am also buying the receiving core, and this is why. OBJ and Shepard, not because of Marshall. I will not buy because of Brandon Marshall. I don't think Brandon Marshall makes him that much better. Look at Victor Cruz. I think he's going to be the same, produce the same, if not a little bit better than a guy like Victor Cruz did. I don't think he's going to be that good for them because he wasn't that good for the New York Jets. And sorry, Eli Manning's not that great of a quarterback. He's not. He turns the ball over a lot. He doesn't do that well. He had, even in his Super Bowl years, he wasn't that good.
Still
he was good for 1 year.
1
year was he actually any good. His
Still
other
above
years,
average quarterback.
4,000 yards and equal and maybe a 1.1 ratio. I'm sorry. That's not very good. That's not even above average. That's average at best. He's not a good quarterback, and Giants fans will agree with that.
You know what has the same knocks on his resume?
Matthew Stafford. And
Brett Favre.
Sorry, but Brett Favre was a winner.
Hi, what are you talking? We are actually undergoing our buy or sell segment. So right now we're discussing whether we buy the New York Giants receiving core.
You're absolutely right. Giants definitely did need more defense. The Giants, without a doubt, needed more defense. You could always use more defense. Defense wins championships and quarterbacks. But defense wins championships, so they absolutely. Hey,
what's up?
LOL. One. But without a doubt. Oh, hey, welcome to the show, Fire Swared. Fires. I don't know. Fire Sword.
Fire Sword with a typo.
But
anyway.
But
continue. As you were saying.
Anyways, absolutely they could have used more defense. But the Giants, I'm sorry, but a guy like Brandon Marshall does not make a receiving core that much better. Eli Manning does not make receivers like Brandon Marshall that are age already, plus have injury issues, who he gets his receivers hurt a lot, by the way. He's not going to make Brandon Marshall any better. He's not going to make him better than what he was the last couple of years. So, sorry.
Sorry if I think Eli Manning's a better quarterback than Geno Smith, Ryan Fitzpatrick, and Jay Cutler.
Not saying he's not. Okay, Jay Cutler, I would argue with you.
Really?
Because Jay Cutler's been to NFC championships. Jay Cutler's been to... he's been successful.
So is Eli Manning.
I understand Eli's got championships, but
Eli Manning's in the Super Bowls.
Eli is several years removed from stuff like that. Eli is several years removed from having any kind of a good season.
So is Jay Cutler.
I understand. But Jay Cutler's also a guy who, I think a little bit of that system kind of hurt him. I think Jay Cutler deserves another chance with another team. I think which actually, I put up a vote on Twitter, would you rather have Tony Romo and Jay Cutler? And I was actually going to pitch to you, I wanted to throw out an argument for Jay Cutler.
Well, it was unanimous to Tony Romo.
I know, but it was 4 votes.
Yeah.
But I actually wanted to pitch to you a topic where I want to try to argue Jay Cutler is better to be your starting quarterback than Tony Romo for 1 year. I was going to argue that. Granted, I don't believe that's true. I think Tony Romo's a better guy because I think he's a better quarterback. But I was going to make the argument for Jay Cutler because Jay Cutler's been more successful than Tony Romo. And he's got the better arm.
Yeah.
And he's had worse receiving cores to work with and done that also. And he stays healthier than Tony Romo. So if I need a guy for 1 year to stay healthy, throw the ball far.
Yeah, Bombers, I agree with you. I don't know what's going on in that chat.
I don't know. Whatever. They're just going to keep going with each other. I think it's just the same guy talking to himself. If he's saying he gets fouled, that's just whatever. But anyways,
or just could be two friends.
Could be. So
I think you guys know each other. That's my hunch.
But anyways, I am buying on the New York Giants receiving core, and it is not because of Brandon Marshall. It is because of Shepard, who is a good receiver and probably a future great receiver.
Yeah.
And OBJ. Not because of Brandon Marshall. I think he gets lost in the woodwork.
Well, moving on. Buy or sell the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Buy. Absolutely fucking buy. Are you kidding me?
I think we both buy this one, too.
Absolutely buy. Mike Evans and Deshaun Jackson?
Perfect compliments.
Are you kidding me?
The perfect
Are
compliments.
you kidding me?
With
That is
Jameis Winston
awesome.
on the ball? The perfect compliment.
I'm sorry. That is an awesome receiving core. That, in my opinion, is probably the most talented receiving core in the NFL.
And they can still keep them honest with that run game, too.
Absolutely. And don't forget Austin Seferian-Jenkins. I'm sorry. That guy's that's a guy's an actually good tight end. To have a guy like that, also with
I'm
Mike
trying to remember
Evans
what the other guy's tight end
and
is.
Deshaun Jackson.
I'm trying to remember what their actual starting tight end is. I'm trying to remember his name.
I can't remember, but got a little thirsty. But no, that in my opinion,
Cameron
is
Brate.
Cameron Brate.
Yeah,
but
there you go.
They have a good. Plus, you have a guy like Doug Martin, Jacquez Rodgers in the backfield to catch the ball coming out of the backfield. That, in my opinion, is probably the most talented receiving core in the NFL.
Yeah.
So Mike Evans, Deshaun Jackson, absolutely fucking buy-in, no doubt.
Agreed. And Cameron Brate.
And Cameron Brate.
And Doug Martin, Jacquez Rodgers to keep the defense honest.
But you're not going to throw any input or anything? You're just agreed.
Agree. You hit it. You hit it. I mean,
Number 3.
I would just be repeating what you're saying.
Number 3. Disney's decision to hold open casting to Aladdin leads. Now, are you buying or selling Disney throwing out open casting for Aladdin? This was announced yesterday, by the way. Disney is holding open casting for the lead role of Aladdin in the live-action film. So
I'm kind of undecided on this one, and here's why. Because Moana worked very well with an open
casting for that.
Yeah.
Then how the fuck did they end up with guys like The Rock?
No, for Moana, I'm literally talking about Moana, the character. So that worked really well. That was an animated feature. I can't remember a movie this big where the two leads will be unknowns. And I'm not down their ability to find someone who would be the perfect fit for Aladdin, the perfect fit for Jasmine. But what I'm worried about is their ability to carry a franchise film. That's what I'm worried about.
So, are you buying or selling?
So what I have to think about is is there a better option out there?
Yes.
And I mean, Rami Malek is one that comes to mind, and Riz Ahmed for Aladdin. There's a few good options for Jasmine, but I don't know if any of them can sing.
So, are you buying or selling,
my
friend?
What? I'm gonna hesitantly buy this one.
What the fuck are you talking about? You just ripped it? Okay, you just ripped it.
I didn't rip it.
And then you went to buy it.
I said I told you I'm hesitant about it.
You think that there is more... You think that there is better options, yet you're going to buy it.
No, I didn't say... I said I don't know if there's better options.
You just said that there was two that came to mind.
The two that come up, I don't know if they can sing. And that's a huge part of it.
I guess. But you could always do voiceovers, whatever. Anyways, but... Okay, I'm selling. And here's why. Moana was successful.
Should we move these two from the chat?
I don't know. Guys, honestly... Could you take this to a private chat or something? This is kind of whatever, but anyways.
Or you guys can chat with us.
Yeah, you can chat with us, But no, I'm gonna sell on this, and here's why. Moana was successful with their lead role of Moana being an open cast. However, no, don't.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, just calm down. If it keeps going, I'll just time them out. But Moana was successful in a kid role. Mm-hmm. How many kids are that well known for roles like that? Well,
she's 16.
I understand, but that's still a kid.
She's successful, but she's not. It's a voice. She's voicing it.
I understand, but that's a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, in a situation like that with that kind of role, yes, that can work. Mm-hmm. When you're coming to a massive movie like Aladdin, which is going to be a feature for Disney, a big feature for Disney, and you're trying to open cast your two lead roles, that's not going to work because a big draw for big movies is the cast, is a big cast and a big name cast. So the fact that their lead roles are not going to be anyone,
the same person. You want to just
cares about?
It's the same guy.
I'll just meet one of them, but
we'll meet both of them because you can.
Anyways,
right.
But to not have a name in the lead role of a big time movie. No.
I missed.
You okay? He's on band.
Mm-hmm.
To not have a guy in a lead role like that is named in a big movie, that kind of hurts the value of the movie. That kind of hurts the people who are like, do I want to see it or do I not? Well,
yeah, but I agree with you. We both called it, but continue.
Do I really want to see this movie? when I don't know who the fuck the 2 lead roles are?
Mm-hmm.
Probably not. I'll go see something else. So that hurts Disney, in my opinion. And are they really going to be that good if they don't have a name whatsoever? Yes, you can find the needle in a haystack. However, that's kind of hard to do.
See, I would like to think if they don't find the perfect fit, that they would. Open casting doesn't necessarily mean they're going to stick with it.
At that point, it's
open
too
casting
late.
means they're just opening it up. If they
understand,
don't find the fit, they can just hire somebody.
In my opinion, it's too late.
Why would it be too late?
Because they will end up having to rush. They'll end up having to go to a star as a second option. And I don't think it's stars. A lot of the stars don't like.
They're not slated to shoot till January, so
again,
they have time.
That's going to stars as a second option, and stars don't really like that. They have this thing called an ego. And that kind of hurts the ego.
That doesn't look good for a live action debate. See, I would disagree with
I would disagree because I think Aladdin actually kind of works in a live action. There's a few that I don't think work that well.
As long as you don't go the Prince of Persia route.
Yeah, don't do that. Or Great Wall.
Yeah.
But Aladdin could work if done the right way. It's got to be done the right way for sure. But I'm selling on this. I can't buy it because a big draw for a lot of people when it comes to movies is the names of the cast, and to have 2 no names as your lead roles, that hurts. That hurts a lot. So it almost makes it look like an indie film at that point.
Which indie films are sometimes successful.
I'm not saying that they're not. I'm just saying that they will never do as well in the box office. And that's what Disney tries to go for. They got to make that cash. You got to make that money. And that's what they're going to try to do with Aladdin. That's why they're bringing these back. It's a cash grab.
Yeah.
It's no doubt a cash grab.
Oh, of course.
It's a good cash grab. Don't get me wrong. I
cash
love
grab that you can take my money. That's a good
Fuck yeah, here. Take it.
But yeah.
Yeah, no. I'm selling on it. I can't buy that.
So I buy, you sell. Moving on. Rob Pelinka as Lakers GM. I think we both have the same answer to this one. 1, 2, 3. Buy.
And I buy for one, and I'm going to give you one name, and that one name is Kobe Bryant. I am buying because of Kobe. Not because of Rob Pelinka.
Finish the Trinity? Finish the Holy Trinity right
Finish
there?
the Holy Trinity, but Rob Pelinka, someone questioned me on Twitter when we announced this, what the hell does Rob Pelinka have anything about running a team? Probably a lot.
Surprise, surprise. A lot of agents become
yes.
GMs.
He was a guy who knows the in and outs of how the Lakers franchise successfully ran, was how negotiating with players works, how negotiating trades works.
Oh, player relations would be his strength. It'd be his biggest strength.
And
he
it
knows,
also
he knows
paves
the business
the
side
way.
of
Yes, and it also paves the way for a guy to come back, the prodigal son to return in Kobe Bryant, and to be in a player relations role. Can you tell me what better of a reason to go to the LA Lakers than to be playing for guys by the name of Magic Johnson and Kobe Bryant? I can't.
You know what position I'd want Kobe Bryant as? I would want him as a lead scout because I would trust no one more than him to find good talent.
Absolutely. You know
I'd be like Kobe, or just like a scout, like a consultant. Like, you know who? Like, all right, we got these guys. Kobe, what do you think about them?
Give him 5 years. You know where I'd want him?
Where?
Head coach.
I would, if he's interested. I'd love to have him as head coach.
And that's because the guy's an absolute monster. The guy's a gamer. The guy knows what the fuck he's talking about on the floor, and he will fire up any player. And if you're not fired up, he will get in your face and make you fired up. He will call your ass out on the floor. He will get on the floor and play with you and talk shit to you. That is why Kobe Bryant would make a great head coach, because he would bring out the best in all of his players, because that's what he did when he was on the floor himself as a player. He brought out the best in his teammates, and he will do that as a head coach. That's the position I would want him in. But I'm absolutely buying Rob Pelinka as the Lakers GM because not just because of Kobe, not just because of that, but because the guy has the knowledge of a successfully run Lakers franchise, and he's going to bring back that motto, that mantra that the Lakers had in the past that they don't anymore. That is why I'm totally buying on that.
And then our last
finish it out. I actually just saw this.
Yeah, we're bringing this in a little late. We wanted to save it for a buy or sell, so.
Yeah, that is the recently released Deadpool teaser.
Or short, as they would like
short,
to call it.
Yeah, it's a teaser, short, whatever. It has nothing to do with the movie, but it's Deadpool.
Bob was there. I know I'm pretty sure it was you that asked us about it last week, too.
You did. So, I am going to go with a buy, because it's Deadpool and it was funny. However, felt bad.
How
It made me sad. It made me sad. The old guy died, but it was kind of funny. So I'm buying because it was anticky and gimmicky and funny and silly like Deadpool's supposed to be, and it was hilarious.
Whoever Brian should be an analyst. Like, oh my, if Shaq and Kobe were on the panel,
They would hate it. You know how much arguing they do
between Shaq, Kobe, and Chuck.
That'd be like Stephen A. Smith and Charles Barkley going at it. You kidding me? That'd be horrible.
Shaq and Charles Barkley going at it.
Yeah. Oh,
or Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless. But
fuck.
anyway,
I hate Stephen A. I'm sorry.
See, I hate Skip. I like Stephen A.
I think Stephen A's an idiot. He's
I think
another
Skip's
one of those
an idiot.
old guys.
I
They
think
both are. They have some shit analysts on TV right
Hopefully
now.
we won't turn into two rambling idiots. But anyway.
Won't turn in or already are.
The Deadpool teaser, I absolutely loved it. It was Deadpool to a T. It was
Deadpool to a T.
It was
There's
everything I
no doubt
love about Deadpool. The Superman music was a beautiful, beautiful touch. He's trying to change in the phone booth.
The phone booth was funny.
I don't know if you noticed, there were little shout outs to Logan in the short. There was a Logan poster in the background.
Was it released before Logan?
It was.
They talked about Logan in it.
Yeah, it was a pre-release for Logan.
Yeah.
It was before. It was like in the trailers, but
You want another beer, by the way?
a little bit.
Alright.
So absolutely, I absolutely loved it, and I honestly wish more movie marketing was this way. And I know that for a fact that Deadpool's not for a fact, but I'm pretty sure Deadpool's not going to stay like that, where they're going to just give us shorts that are unrelated to the film completely. But I would love for movie marketing to stay that way, because way too often we see trailers come out that completely give away the whole plot of the movie.
Oh, absolutely.
From beginning to end.
Way too often. You mean like every time?
And for the new Fate of the Furious trailer, I purposely have not watched it because from what I've heard, it literally gives away the whole movie.
Well, fuck, I'm not watching it then.
So I am purposely avoiding it.
That's a franchise I followed from beginning to end.
Yeah.
So I mean, I grew up.
So
with
if
the
Deadpool
Fast and Furious
could
franchise.
just give us various shorts leading up to the release, and then release just being a plot that no one knows anything about, I think that'd be awesome.
I do too, because that's the thing though. A lot of comedies, when they do these trailers, they give away their good jokes.
Yeah.
To bring people to the movie. And if Deadpool does none of that and makes their shorts funny,
Yeah.
and then has all their good jokes in the movie, that's awesome, because you literally are completely blinded by everything that's awesome in the movie, and I want that. Why wouldn't you want that? So definitely, I definitely.
I agree.
So that's it for our buy or sell this week. Again, if you guys have topics that you want us to throw into our buy or sell for next week, let us know. If you guys have topics that you want us to just talk about on the show, let us know. But so we'll move on. With the new Aladdin, this is coinciding with the Aladdin, topic that obviously in the animated Aladdin movie, the Genie, who I thought was the best character in the whole movie and is one of the best characters of all time, was played by Robin Williams. May he rest in peace forever. I love Robin Williams, so it's very sad that he's not going to be the Genie in this.
And he replies his role in the King of Thieves also.
Yes. So with that being said, obviously the person who plays the Genie's got big shoes to fill. Who do you think can fill those shoes? Well, shoes, or is it shoes or a lamp? Big lamp to fill?
Here's
Can we say that?
You can say that. I think it's more accurate. Here's a question. It's which direction do you
How
want?
do you do a Genie in a live action?
Do
you give him feet?
That's what I'm saying. Here's a question. Do you want to go in a different direction than Robin Williams did, or do you want someone to kind of replicate Robin Williams' performance? And
I'd be in all honesty.
So I have
maybe
picks
this
for
is just
both
me
ways.
being old. Maybe it's just me being old, but if they go a different route with Genie, that's a disappointment to me. And unless they plan on making the movie
as long as they make it good, I wouldn't mind them going a different route.
if they make the movie dark, then you got to go dark Genie, because Genie plays.
I doubt they'll make it dark.
I do too. But if you're going to keep Aladdin the way that it was in the animated film, then you have to make the Genie the way he was. And
he can still be funny without doing a Robin Williams impression, is what I'm saying.
At that point, it's kind of an ode to Robin Williams, which I think is out of respect.
So that's what I'm saying. If you want to make the Genie an ode to Robin Williams, if you want to make it as close to Robin Williams' Genie as possible,
which I think they should do.
At that point, I think my pick for that would be Jack Black. I think
I don't know about that.
I think he could do a great job, and he can sing. So I think he would be a great fit if you wanted to go that route.
You know who I could kind of see being Genie, and this is obviously, Genie would have to be CGI'd at that point. But a voice for Genie.
Don't say Shaq.
No. No. Terry Crews.
Close enough to Shaq.
Yeah, but he's funny. He's
I mean, we saw how
entertaining.
Shaq and Kazam turned out, but continue.
But I can
Terry
honestly
Crews?
see Terry Crews being...
We got some pecs action.
Yeah! Why not? Why not? I mean, it'd be his own touch on a Genie type role, and it'd also be he's silly enough and makes the jokes that I could see Robin Williams doing. So I think Terry Crews would actually work. Now, Jack Black, I don't know. I think he's a little too stupid silly. We're on the same person. We're not the same person. We're in the same room. And sorry for trying to make it sound like one person. Sorry about all of that. We feel bad because we even said our names. We also found our next target. Different strategy. I hope Aladdin... Okay, awesome, dude.
Awesome.
I hope Aladdin is more of a comedic action instead of a dramatic.
Oh,
boring
it's going to
movie.
be... There's no way they're going to make it dramatic.
If it's dramatic and boring, that doesn't that kind of go Prince of Persia route?
Yeah, it does. It
Yeah,
absolutely
which
does.
they can't do. That'd be horrible. So they got to go comedic action movie. They got to make it funny. They got to make it light.
Yeah, everything that made that Aladdin anime movie lovable was the songs and the Genie.
And you definitely have to keep the songs.
Yeah. But if they...
Go
What were you saying about Jack Black, though? You saying?
I think he's too stupid silly. His jokes
Not
are
necessarily.
like yes he is though. In all of his movies he makes fart jokes and bathroom jokes and stuff that really
School of Rock.
a lot of that was like that. Are you kidding me?
I
His
don't
jokes
remember
were
any
not
fart
that.
jokes in School of
His
Rock.
jokes were very kid funny and kid silly in School
Plus,
of
a
Rock.
lot of that script, too.
Yes, I understand, but he wrote that movie, didn't he?
No, I don't think... Did you write School of Rock?
I think he had a lot to do with the writing of that movie. It sounds like Jack Black, but I'm sorry, I just don't see him fit in that role because I don't think because the Genie is very witty, very very witty. Jack Black does not scream witty to me. He just screams silly and kind of stupid to me. You have to be witty to be the Genie.
See, I think Jack Black can be witty, but...
I don't at all.
If they did want to take it a little bit of a different route, but still have who I still think could be a really good Genie, be Bill Hader.
Okay, I can see that.
I think Bill Hader can make a great... He can do impressions. He's a great voice actor if they're going to go the CGI route. He's extremely witty. So I think Bill Hader could be a great route to go if they wanted to switch it up a little bit with the Genie.
Real quick. I just want to look at him.
What, Bill Hader?
Yeah, just to... Okay, yeah. I can kind of see it. Yeah. I can kind of see it. Okay.
I don't know if you remember him. He did plenty of impressions on SNL.
Kevin
too.
Hart can be the Genie.
Kevin Hart.
Honestly, I can kind of see it. He's hilarious.
I love Kevin Hart, but
Kevin Hart's awesome.
a lot of people will tell you it's getting to the point where he's getting overexposed, and
He
it's starting
absolutely
to
is overexposed. Absolutely, 100%. So was Louis C.K. for a while. Absolutely, there's tons of comedians that are totally
That'd be a
overexposed.
different take on the Genie, Louis C.K.
Oh my, that'd be a dark take on this Genie. You kidding me? I hate kids. Kids are fucked up. But no, Kevin Hart actually could be the Genie because he's funny, he's witty, and he's entertaining. I think that'd be actually a good fit. I can't
picture a Genie with a high voice though.
I can't either. They'd have to do something with it. But actually, I kind of can, but you got to make them look a little bit different.
Yeah, exactly. You have to change the complete
You
design
have to
of the Genie.
change the design of the Genie, which I'd rather them change the design of the Genie than change the actual actions of the Genie, the mantra of the Genie.
So you'd rather change the design than go a different route than the Robin Williams?
Yes, absolutely. So, but that's our picks for the Genie. So, anything else you want to throw in there?
Yeah, those are my two guys. Jack Black and Bill Hader were my two picks.
Okay. Seth Rogen.
You know, honestly,
I don't think he's witty enough. I'm sorry.
Not, like, if they
He's
want
not.
to turn the Genie to a
If
stoner,
I was gonna say, if he's a stoner, sure, Seth Rogen would work. Oh man, but
you know what'd be really interesting? What's that guy's name from Full House? The DJ's like on and off boyfriend.
Steve.
If they cast him as Aladdin as an ode to the original movie, because you know who was the voice of Aladdin. That'd be, I mean, a lot of Arabic people would get really mad.
Yeah,
at whitewashing. But
I mean, hell, wasn't there a movie about all Chinese people when all the actors were white and everybody got pissed?
no, everyone got pissed that Matt Damon was cast as the lead in Great Wall.
Oh, that's what it was.
But
Yeah.
people didn't realize that he was playing a white person.
No, it wasn't that though. There was a movie that literally was based in China with all Chinese actors.
I think you think of
With all Chinese.
I think you think of Aloha, the movie that's based in Hawaii with all white actors.
maybe that was it. But anyways, moving on. So this week we've done in the past where we create our own kind of movie. We create our own.
We did a couple
Monsterverse.
pitches last week.
We created our own MonsterVerse. We pitched our own what was it? Our own universe, basically, our own extended universe.
We also pitched our own esport.
We pitched our own esport also. And so this week we're gonna pitch our own. We're gonna take a kids movie, and sorry to destroy your childhoods,
And ladies and
people.
gentlemen, it's probably gonna get dark.
Sorry to destroy your childhoods, people, but we're gonna pitch an R-rated kids movie. And you know what? I mentioned this earlier, but let's try to keep it away from the porn parodies.
Well, I didn't really. I mean, I didn't have any porn parodies.
Okay, so
I'll let you leave this one off.
all right, my pick. I'm going with one of my favorite movies as a kid, and this is gonna destroy my childhood because I grew up with this fucking movie and love it dearly. And that movie's Toy Story. And this is what.
How are you gonna
I'm going a la Sausage Party with this one.
Oh god.
A la Sausage Party with this one. The toys are gonna be extremely vulgar. I'm thinking, when say the scene where everybody, Andy's coming. Holy fucking shit, Andy's coming! Stop, freak the fuck out! Let's go! And just shit like that, where they freak the fuck out and
Hide the lead!
shit like that, where instead of them clicking the remote in front of the TV, they're smoking a joint. And then you got when they're rappelling out the window, or the army guys are rappelling down something. It's get your ass on my face, asshole, and things like that. I think that'd be just absolutely hilarious to throw jokes like that into Toy Story, because that would throw a totally different twist on the movie and destroy everything I knew about it. But that, and if there's a scene where I just gotta. This literally just came to my mind, but so. Andy, a little bit older. Or no, you gotta go with his mom, because if we're going first Toy Story, this would be a little bit creepy. But so Andy is out of he's at his friend's house and the toys are at home. He did bring his toys this one time. And Buzz and Woody and all the toys, Belle and all them are hanging out, doing their thing. Bo Peep, yeah, Bo Peep, Belle, where the fuck is Belle? But Bo Peep and they're doing their thing, and Woody's trying to hit on Bo Peep a little bit, trying to get a little something in, talking a little dirty to her. And then all of a sudden, Andy's mom comes in the room, and she's brought a guy home.
Oh, Lord.
And all of a sudden, you see clothes start flying everywhere, and what's the pig's name? Pork?
I forgot.
No, definitely got to go Mr. Potato Head.
Mr.
Potato Head sitting there talking to his wife, leaning her over, being a little sweet and stuff, like he always, does. And then all of a sudden, panties fall right on Mr. Potato Head. Fall right on Mr. Potato Head.
Mr. Potato Head does not have a shortage of dirty jokes. In the
No,
Toy
he
Story
doesn't.
universe.
Absolutely not. So he was perfectly good. But you got panties falling on Mr. Potato Head. And
Nobody takes my wife's
and all of
mouth
a sudden
from me.
you see Andy's mom get laid down in the bed, and you see that you see just the silhouette of Andy's mom getting railed by some guy, and then they zoom in on, they pan over to the toys, and the toys are, and you just see drool come out of one of their mouths, they're just dumbfounded by what the fuck's going on in the bed. Oh my God. That is my pitch for an R-rated kids movie, because I think that would be absolutely
Are you
hilarious.
ending it the same way Sausage Party
Yes,
did?
I'm ending it with a massive orgy of toys. I'm ending it with a massive toy orgy. That's my R-rated kids movie.
Believe it or not, I'm going a little bit darker. I'm going Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
That movie's already dark. What the fuck are you talking about?
Sweeney Todd dark.
Also, he kills people. I like it. I like it.
So instead of you think it's a chocolate factory, but when the people go in the competition and they get hard off for breaking the rules, they're actually getting murdered in Saw fashion. And they're serving.
So that
they're not
motherfucker
serving
that's going
chocolate.
to the incinerator is actually going to the incinerator.
They're not serving chocolate. They're serving meat pies. Ooh. It's a cannibalistic factory, is what it is.
Okay, wow, you are going really dark with this. All right.
So basically, what happens is you have the golden ticket to your own private death. Is what that golden ticket.
I don't want that ticket. I don't think I want that ticket.
They don't know that they don't want that ticket. They think they're getting chocolate.
So Willy Wonka's seen some shit over there.
And it's Willy Wonka's own private version of justice. He wants to see who the rule breakers are.
So he hates the kids of today.
And kills them off.
He hates this generation. That's the common theme here.
And the honest kid survives. And it's a fucked up moral of the story.
But the honest kid lied. Mm-hmm. So you're telling me that nobody survives because even Charlie was almost in the fans. He would have actually hit the fans. So who lived?
Maybe Charlie dies then. You
have to bring in a new character. Then you have to change the whole premise of the movie. And oh my god,
meat pies.
Oh my god, what the fuck? You're a fucked up individual. You know that?
Yeah, like literally, they get carted off. Like it's like, and then at the end, you reveal that Willy Wonka was Jigsaw all along. Just like you found out that the dead body in Saw 1 was Jigsaw all along. And you found out when they were getting carted off, it was into Saw-like chambers. And the sequel.
So the Oompa Loompas are just little fucked up murderers, midget murderers.
They're there against their will.
So they're fucked up little slave murderers.
Yes.
Awesome.
You know the Oompa Loompas were initially supposed to be black people.
Yes. It's a little racist though.
But my other one, I had two going into this, and I didn't know which one to pick. This one's more relevant because the movie is coming out next week. Beauty and the Beast. The
Beast actually eats her?
If you combined Beauty and the Beast and 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh my god. You are one fucked up individual. This is porn.
Like welcome to the man.
You're literally bringing bestiality into this now.
He's a prince. He's a human.
He's a beast.
He's a human.
He's a beast.
He's a human.
Does he have fur?
He's a beast that transforms into Mr. Grey, and then all the madness ensues.
Does he have fur?
He does not have fur once he becomes human.
How the fuck does that happen? I'm sorry, but what the fuck is wrong with you? God. All right, let me try to think of another one. Oh man.
R-rated kids movies are fun, believe it or not.
Oh, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Sausage Party's a perfect example of that.
It is, and they're making more. They're making the direction I want to see, because he said he wants to make more Pixar style animated R movies. So the Rogan said. If they go the classic, Disney Princess style R-rated movie,
Snow White getting railed by 7 dwarfs. Jesus. The prince comes. What the fuck is going on here?
Oh Lord, no! Getting railed by 7 dwarfs. Oh my god. But really though, if you think about it, if you go back to the original source material of the Disney movies,
yeah, they're fucked up.
It's pretty R-rated.
They're dark as shit. You kidding me?
It is pretty R-rated.
Dark as shit.
Like the evil stepsisters, the stepsisters in Cinderella. Yeah. They literally cut off their toes to fit in the fucking slipper.
Yeah.
Like
shit's dark.
It's messed up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But you have another one?
I'm trying to think. I think I might got one. And I don't know if I want to go. I want to go another. Didn't Seth Rogen say it took him years to... Oh, absolutely. That was like
it took him years just to get approved.
Sausage Party was like his baby with James Franco for years. Yeah. Like, that was their baby.
That was their 7 years total?
Yeah, that was their masterpiece for the longest time. But they never wanted to actually release it because they thought it was too fucked up. And then they actually did.
They wanted to release it. The studios didn't want to release it.
It was
the studios wouldn't buy it because it's never been done before.
Yeah. But, oh man, what's another one? Who...
Did you like Sausage Party? Because we both loved it. There's people... I don't know if I have more people that didn't like that movie, and I'm surprised. But we both loved it.
I loved that movie.
Yeah.
I literally was falling out of my chair laughing at that movie. Oh my god. I don't know if I was falling out of my chair out of shock or out of actual laughter. Because that movie blew me the fuck away.
Oh, I got one for you.
What?
How about Ari and Mary Poppins?
Yeah.
Where Mary Poppins turns out to be a kidnapper. And she kidnaps the kids.
Why are you so dark?
And then the dad is Liam Neeson from Taken.
So you're turning this from a murder story into a shitty action movie?
No, because Mary Poppins gets brutally murdered at the end.
Okay.
With an umbrella.
How?
With her
open
own
clothes.
with her own umbrella.
I saw the movie in a party and crashed out drunk.
Oh, so you missed the end, the best part?
Go back. It's on Netflix. Mm-hmm. Watch the end of that movie. It changes cinema forever.
It changed my perception of food forever.
It definitely did.
It also changes the word food porn for me forever.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Food porn no longer means what it used to mean.
No, it does not. Oh, man, I'm trying to think of another one I could do. I thought Toy Story 1 was genius.
It was.
I thought it'd be fucking hilarious to have that movie. I want to pitch that. But... trying to think. do I want to go dark or do I want to go comedy again? Because I could go comedy with just about anything.
I went pretty goddamn dark.
Yeah, you did. It's kind of scary. I'm scared to be your friend now.
Oh, man.
You're not going to, take a razor blade to my neck, are you?
Never.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Once you tell me Mr. Trubisky's a franchise quarterback.
Once you tell me a safety can win a goddamn Super Bowl for his team, I might do it to you.
Anyway.
Oh, man.
Close this one out.
Yeah, I can't think of anything. Maybe we'll bring this topic back at a later date.
Yeah.
Just throw out some more because I had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
So,
This is what we like to close our beer streams out with. Just
Something
fun
hilarious.
pitches, something funny.
Yeah.
But thanks for tuning in, especially you, Obama Lizard.
Yeah, thanks again, man.
You're
Thanks
our best
again for
regular
coming
right
out.
now.
Yeah, yep. An awesome regular. So thanks again for coming out, man. And everyone else too. Thank you guys for coming out.
Even though you were Mr. Not, you were the same person, just wrecking havoc in the chat section. But it's all right.
It's all good. Again, guys, feel free to hit us up on Twitter at RealFanReport. Let us know if you have any topics you want us to talk about, or if you want to just say hey. So we live tweet throughout the week. So, and if you like what you saw tonight, hit that follow button down below. Another good episode, fellas. Have a good one. Hey, thanks, man.
You too.
Thank you too.
You have a great night.
Yeah,
We'll see you next week, man.
We'll see you next week. Again, we're probably gonna do a weekday show again this week because we like those actually.
Yeah,
they're fun, and it
I
kind
think
of
it's probably been normal schedule. It's gonna be one weekday show.
Yeah,
one
weekday,
show.
one weekend show is probably gonna be our normal schedule from now on. So
And we're gonna try to get to a set time and date.
Yeah. But again, thanks again for coming out, guys. The video, as always, will be up on YouTube shortly. So if you guys miss anything, you want to check everything out, it's up there. We're still in the process of uploading things to a podcast, so we're still working on that, getting things ready to go. But that should be up shortly. But again, hope you guys had a good time. Once again, we did as always. So see you probably Wednesday. Maybe Thursday this week, but again,
we'll let you know on Twitter.
We'll let you know on Twitter, but probably Wednesday because that's probably going to be our stream day. Makes the week shorter, in my opinion. So, again, thanks for coming out. You guys have a good night. Peace.
Snow White getting real.